Hello and what is up, beautiful people? This will be the actually long awaited episode of my road to 17-inch arms, and just a few quick updates before I start talking on, or as you watch my first set of incline hammer presses supersetted with hanging leg raises and some double pullovers as usual. I actually don't train like this anymore. Although, don't be mistaken that I don't train as much as hard or the same way as shown in this video. You are quite mistaken. What I mean by the fact that I don't train like this anymore is ever since I've been or ever since that I have got my first job, I have been as busy as I am and didn't have much the time spent, or I don't have that much of the time uploading, recording contents like this, and of course that to a degree is my own fault. As much as I can, as I kept saying in this past few videos, past few months, past few weeks, I'll be trying to be as consistent as I am because there's a lot of archive videos, believe it or not, on some contents like this on my phone, and I've been paying the price because my phone keeps telling me that I've been consuming too much of its memory. And just to clarify again, not because I told you that I haven't been training like this, that doesn't mean I have not been training as hard as I can. What I mean by is what I mean by that is I haven't been working out to a degree of having this much frequency as I used to before. Before, to a degree, I have been at the gym lifting weights for at least 5 to 6 days a week. So that's a lot of frequency and a lot of volume. And right now, I'm trying my best to be at the gym lifting weights, replicating my same routine as I used to before for at least 4 times. And God help me that even at least 5 times a week. So I could have at least an extra day of getting in more volume and frequency, most especially with my current goal, which is gaining 17 inches arms. As you can see here, this would be my very first set of incline dumbbell curls. I think it was supersetted with some cable rope pushdowns, and again, as I've mentioned, although I have been training as much as I can, replicating my old routine currently, some exercise variations has to be replaced because for one, it doesn't feel right. Um, it doesn't give me the same stimulus as it was. Although you could say that's me being very impatient in terms of progressing, not just by weight, but also in terms of the numbers of sets and reps. And I actually replaced the dual cable rope pushdowns with a single arm rope pushdown because, for one, I don't, if I haven't mentioned it to all of you in this past few videos, I actually have a smaller left tricep. I don't know what's the root cause of it. Some imbalances, obviously, but I think it has to do with my nagging left shoulder impingement, as as I have actually been experiencing in this past few years because of what do you call this? Oh, speak of the devil, the most hated exercises of all time, one of the most hated exercises of all time by the optimal bros, the influencers of today's social media influence. social media fitness influencers, the upright rows, actually don't do that as well anymore. I irritated it with cable upright rows because it felt more right, and the stimulus to fatigue ratio is I it kind of feels right to make it more basic and more clear to you, and getting more out of less weight by Alex Leonidas. Cable upright rows feels more natural, although you could say dumbbells give you more of the option of having to move freely compared to cable upright rows, but that's just me. Again, with my nagging left shoulder injury from spamming dips, push-ups, and even possibly the influence of spamming pull-ups during the lockdown actually worsened the condition of my left shoulder. So doing unilateral exercises, as I mentioned, replacing the rope push downs with only one hand at a time actually helps isolate my left tricep completely. And after doing a superset of preach curls, again, this also I don't do this anymore. Inspired by Jeffrey Verity Schofield, the rope extensions. I actually replaced it with the good old classic dumbbell tricep extensions on the bench, as I actually can do more weight for one. Um, Although the resistance curve are slightly different, and the cable actually provides a different kind of resistance compared to straight weights. Uh, it just doesn't feel right to me anymore. Um, the stimulus I get from doing that kind of rope extension doesn't guarantee me, or probably this is just me being impatient, but I have been seeing more growth in doing dumbbell tricep extensions, overhead tricep extensions to be specific. And that's the beauty of actually doing in the sport of bodybuilding, is you don't have to imitate a certain individual that you look up to, because some exercises that they do on a daily basis, their top favorite picks, they do it for their own personal reason, because for one, they get more out of less weight. Again, their stimulus to fatigue ratio is up par to their own personal goals, and because my own goal for this series is gaining at least 1 more inch on my arms, fully flexed, and even without a pump, um, doing the exercise that gives you your desired goals, your desired result, instead of following an individual that you follow on social media, whether it could be on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then ending up getting little to no results. Actually, you're just spinning your wheels and you're just wasting time and effort at the gym. So become an independent and a dependent individual, and don't get sucked up, or don't get caught up with having this um, cult mindset, if you could call it that way, that just because your favorite influencer says that you have to do this, you have to do it ASAP. I used to be like that before, and even though those specific type of exercises doesn't give me no gains, me being blinded by the parasocial relationship that I have um, with this type of individual or this type of influencers is actually the root cause of killing your gains. I know, no pun intended, and you're probably thinking of a certain individual, but it's not just him, and that's why the noble natis of YouTube fitness is whom I follow, not to a degree that I'm also following them with blind faith. It's because they themselves call out fans who get too much, what do you call this, they they fanboy to a certain degree that it's actually very uncomfortable to this individual's perspective. That's why guys like natural hypertrophy are against the idea of having parasocial relationship parash oh my parasocial relationships with individuals you haven't even met on person, and that is why he is also against the use of fanboyism, in which influencers would rather not face, if they're faced with a certain issue or certain argument, they just cower in they would just cower in a corner and let their so-called fan base do the job in bullying the opposing opinion, opposing argument. And that is why I actually um, that is what I like about natural hypertrophy, and even guys like Jeffrey Verdi Schofield. Although personally, in my own experience, they actually interact with their fans, believe it or not. I DM them directly on Instagram. Guys like Coach Paris Butler, they're actually very interactive with their fans, including me. And this is what differs them to your mediocre and standard fitness influencers of this modern day and era. Not only they're very transparent, they give free programs available on their YouTube channel, their Instagram page. You can learn a lot with their free workout programs and templates, in which I build my current split upon. It's just very basic. You don't have to glamorize everything with this certain exercise variation that this certain individual, certain influencer, quote unquote, invented, trying to reinvent the wheel. Just do the basic movements, isolate your favorite muscle. In my case, shoulders and arms. And in currently, I love doing forearm workouts and even calf workouts, believe it or not, and TBLS, and most definitely abs and the tibialis calf raises, in which I've learned from natural hypertrophy. And that is all I have to say. A few quick updates. I'll be trying to revive this series as much as I can, uploading videos, recording videos of my training log whenever I do arms, or I can actually do a video, upload a video talking about my new current split. It's just a 4 to 5 days a week split that is very flexible in my own accord. Now you can just watch me do some of the rest of my sets of supersetting barbell preacher curls and some rope tricep extensions on the cable. Uh, Again, it doesn't feel as much doesn't feel right, most definitely, especially on my elbows. It doesn't it doesn't give it doesn't get quite the pump that I actually expect. I actually feel it more with my lats, given the fact that my arms are up overhead. And here you can actually see me do some neck work again. Don't neglect your neck work if you want to look like you work out or you lift weights, even with clothes on. The same way applies when you wear shorts. You get big calves, even big thighs when you have your sleeves rolled up, or you wear a very tight shirt with tight sleeves. You reveal your triceps, your forearms, especially Sylvester Stallone level forearms. It means that you lift, and the cherry at the top would be your neck. And in addition, your traps as well. You can see some high level athletes who compete in close contact sports, football, rugby. When I say football, American football, combat sports like mixed martial arts, wrestling, or any type of grappling sport that requires a very strong back, strong neck. You can clearly see that they give you this very intimidating aura, most especially with the presence of a big horse neck and some mountainous traps. You can see actually this is a modification of Alu race. Um, this was popularized by a Chinese Olympic weightlifter. I forget his name, but obviously his name is Lu. Uh, Not only this helps me in terms of building side delt muscles, some upper traps. Also, it also helps me with my nagging shoulder pain, mobility, and stability. And I think this would be the my last set of doing decline sit-ups, which I rotate with some cable crunches, whether it be kneeling or just standing. Preferably, I like them both 50-50 because of not only it helps me move through space, unlike a cable crunch. Although a cable crunch, it's only positive, or main advantage against a decline sit-up is you can load it up as heavy as you can, but compared to my own case of having a weak lower back, the decline sit-ups alongside doing heavy hip hinges actually helps strengthen my erectors. Believe it or not, even decline sit-ups actually help strengthen your lower back. And this would be my last exercise for today. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you continue watching this series. So, have a good day.